What's up YouTube? In this video I will be reviewing the 2017 WRX Limited Edition with a CVT transmission. This is my very first YouTube video and I decided to do a review on the WRX and hopefully help out anyone on the fence about purchasing one, but more specifically anyone torn between getting the CVT over the manual transmission. Look, I get it. Why would anyone choose a CVT in a performance car over the manual option? Especially when the CVT will cost you $1,200 more. The CVT is definitely not for everyone. Right off the bat, if you're a sports enthusiast and you're going to take the car to the track, or you foresee heavily modding the car in the future, you might want to look at the 6-speed manual option instead. Most people will immediately scoff at the idea of a CVT, but after buying one and driving it for a while, I feel it most definitely has its place. If you appreciate a sports-tuned suspension, all-wheel drive, 268 horsepower, but maybe you live in an area where driving a manual can sometimes seem like a job, then maybe the CVT is for you. I mean, I truly do enjoy driving a stick shift, but I live in an area with tunnel systems, countless bridges. Traffic around here is always one accident away from being stop and go for hours. It's just, after a long workday, that's just no fun. Maybe, as I do, you'll share the car with someone who can't or won't drive a manual. Whatever the reasoning for considering a CVT, it's certainly not as bad as some of the car blogs suggest. Of course, no video review will ever replace actually test driving a car, but test drives are short and they don't often reveal like the nuances of the car. For example, the bass sound system in this car is absolutely terrible. So bad, in fact, that I'm doing a whole separate video going over the sound system, the available kicker speaker upgrade, and a sub and amp installation. So if you're interested in that video, please subscribe and you'll be notified when it comes out. Unlike previous years, the car now comes in two trim packages, premium and limited. The premium upgrades the wheels to 18 inches and it adds the all-weather package, which includes heated seats, heated folding side mirrors, and windshield wiper deicer. If you don't know what that is, there are heating elements on the windshield where the wipers rest that melt the wipers free if they freeze over. Premium also adds fog lights and a sliding moonroof. Going to limited adds LED headlights, 8-way power driver's seat, leather upholstery, and upgrades the touchscreen to 7 inches from 6.2. I'll also note that the car has a backup camera which shows on the main screen rather than the small info screen above as it did in previous years. This is standard in all trim packages, and it should be, considering by 2018 all cars will be required to have a backup camera. So on to the review. The very first thing you'll notice about the car is that it feels like it's glued to the road. The suspension and the all-wheel drive system, they're really awesome, and you feel very much in control of the car. Steering is very responsive, and even the slightest touch to the steering wheel moves the car. And speaking of the steering wheel, it's one of my favorite things about the car. It's designed so well, it fits in your hand just right. It's a pleasure to drive. The car has basically 4 drive modes: Intelligent, Sports, Sports Sharp, and Slapstick. On Intelligent mode, the car basically turns into a Civic. It's the most fuel efficient mode, and it's fine for heavy stop and go traffic. But if you buy the car, you never take it off Intelligent mode, you might as well save your money or buy a much cheaper car with much better options, because you're just wasting the car's potential. If you hit sports mode, the car gets way more aggressive and more responsive and is way more fun to drive. But the reason you want to buy a WRX is sports sharp mode, which is everything the car's got. And in sports sharp mode, the car keeps the engine at a higher RPM and simulates 8 gears. I'll note that on all the modes, the paddle shifters are always available, so you can always downshift. So let's say you're passing another car, you can do that without changing modes. You can always hit like down slapstick and the car will downshift and you can pass somebody if that's what you want to do. A few cons. Road noise, very pronounced in this car. It's a small car, it has very aggressive tires, so depending on the surface you're driving on, it could be pretty loud. To combat that, I installed some sound deadening material on the doors, and I'll go over all that in the sound system video. Braking, I suppose, is adequate, but sometimes while driving in sports sharp mode, I feel like the car could use bigger brakes, which someday I'll install bigger brakes. The interior of the car doesn't necessarily scream luxury. You can tell that Subaru did everything in their power to keep the car as light as possible, and at the $30,000 price point, something has to give. And finally, fuel efficiency sucks. It's rated at 20 to 27, but if you drive the car in sports sharp mode all the time, you're gonna get way less than that. And I feel for it being, the year 2017, it could be much better, especially when you're driving on intelligent mode. To wrap up the review, if you are looking for a luxurious, comfortable, fuel-efficient car, the WRX is probably not for you. But if you want a sporty, fast, fun, aggressive car that gives you a really good feeling every time you drive it, the WRX, CVT or not, is definitely worth a test drive. Again, I'm doing a whole separate video on the sound system, but for the sake of completion, I will say that if you can afford the kicker upgrade, or better yet, the Harman Kardon package, do it. The base sound system really is that bad. That's it for now. If you already have a WRX, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If this video was useful to you, please like. To see more, subscribe. Take care.